Hi, thanks for joining us for our full discussion of this episode of Once Upon a Time, Last Rites. We are recording an audio podcast, so you're just going to see a side view of one of my co-hosts and I. But if you want to listen to the podcast and receive every episode automatically, then please subscribe over at oncepodcast.com. You can subscribe in iTunes, on Android, on all kinds of other devices. That's over at oncepodcast.com. And here we go with our recording of the episode. You're listening to Once, episode 200. The scroll wouldn't scroll fast enough.
The scroll wouldn't
Okay, I was trying to do like three things at
That's
once.
enough.
Not like I was actually trying to do three things at once.
At
Switch the camera,
Three things you
load the
wish.
soundboard, and find the episode number. So, take two. First blooper of the night. How about
Bloop.
that? 3, 2, 1. Oh, before we do this, psych. Jacqueline, make sure you're closer to the microphone, as close as you can be, about a fist width away from it as possible.
Okay, I've moved it closer to myself.
Okay,
It is
thank
now
you.
in her mouth.
And you may need to turn your headphone volume down just a little bit. We had a little bit of bleeding through
Right.
in the last.
Let's
recording.
pretend that I don't know what that means.
Your headphones sometimes get so loud, or could be loud enough that the audio leaks out of your ear
Nostril.
back into the microphone.
How do I adjust that?
So just turn down your headphone volume.
Until you can't hear us. Then just say things that sound like they are.
Do you not know how to
Responses.
adjust that headphone volume?
I don't.
You're plugged into the back of the microphone, right?
No,
For your headphones?
they're plugged into my monitor.
Oh, you're on that little you're on the
Candid camera.
right? Okay, let's just go with it. We'll just
Just turn your ear
Should be like
away
whatever-
from the microphone.
it should be whatever way that you adjust your volume normally.
Okay, volume. Oh, yeah, I can adjust my volume.
Okay, yeah. Not the microphone volume. Don't adjust that. But your regular volume. We are
How
changing
many
the laws
episodes
of
have we been doing
physics.
this?
The laws of physics.
Okay.
Okay, let's undo this again.
Do this
Here we
like
go.
Brutus.
3, 2, 1. You're listening to Once, episode 250, Last Rites. Welcome back to another episode of Once, the unofficial podcast for ABC's TV show, Once Upon a Time. I'm Daniel J. Lewis.
I'm Jeremy Laughlin.
And I'm Jacqueline.
We have watched and rewatched this episode, Last Rites, and we are ready to dig into this. This is the penultimate episode of this season. We have the 2-hour season finale. There are 2 different titles for the upcoming episodes, but it's a 2-hour season finale. So make sure that you set your DVR or get ready to watch an hour earlier. It starts at 7 or 6 Central. So we are really looking forward to that. I'm going to guess it's another 2-part mini-sode or mini sort of thing, a storyline across 2 episodes, kind of like they've been doing at the end of the last couple seasons.
In which Hook and Emma battle little yard gnomes brought to life by a curse that are trying to destroy the happiness brought by building a white picket fence.
And speaking of that white picket fence, let's cross it and start talking about this episode.
Okay.
It starts out with the toll bridge and Hades on that bridge. And getting to see Arthur right there. I'm glad that in all of this, we haven't completely forgotten. Okay, Jeremy, that face is completely distracting.
Yeah, because I just had, you didn't say the thing, like, we'll start with the past, and it just hit me. There's no flashing back in this episode.
Yeah, we were talking about that in our Slack
anything.
channel. It's not the first episode with no flashbacks,
Oh,
but it
it's
is one
not
of
the
the few.
first. Oh,
No. Technically, the way Daniel and I finally kind of hashed this out today was really the first episode without flashbacks is 208 Into the Deep. Um, you can kind of make a case maybe for 201 Broken, but it seems a little more like a flash forward when you think about the rate at which pigeons fly.
Right.
It's 208 is the first one, really.
wow.
And John, keep the value part of that conversation in, but the face part, that will be in the bloopers.
And the part about Slack.
Jeremy's face will be in bloopers.
Whoa.
Coming to a blooper near you. It's
Come
Jeremy's face.
into a blooper near you.
So instead of starting at the past, we'll then start at the troll. I'm kind of trying to say it with and without the R at the same
The
time.
troll bridge.
Yes. It's nice to see Arthur again and know that he's not this character that's been moved to Forgotten Character Island as so many other characters have been moved there that I've lost track of how many characters are there. But we do get to see his resolution really in this episode. It's not like the focus of this, but it is answering one of those unanswered questions. And Hades referred to himself as the god of death.
Yeah, they got to stop that. I think I've said this a couple times now, but he's not. He's just the Lord of the Underworld. He's God of the Underworld. I think it's for the show sexier for them to call him the God of Death because it makes it sound more important that the heroes have to go up against, the God of Death. But no, not so much.
Well, yeah, because they can't resist talking about it as hell and the devil, even though they have to quickly contradict it every single time. They still put the lines in because they just want to say it so bad.
And it may be one of those things that they're not using necessarily the Greek mythology label of God of Death, but they're using the label of, okay, Hades is a god in this story, and he's the ruler of the underworld, which is where people go when they die. So it's like he's the god of death.
Sure.
So you can arrive to it logically like that, but if you slap on the Greek mythological label on him, yeah, Jacqueline's got problems.
I feel like the Grim Reaper dude in the boat at the beginning or the end of the last story arc might have had something to say about that if he ever spoke, but he was never seen again.
You mean Karen?
Sure.
The ferryman?
Yeah. What happened to him? Oh, wait, never mind. He fell into the River of Lost Souls, I'm sure.
His job is just to pilot people
Oh.
from the land of the living to the land of the dead.
Does he get...
That's actually pretty consistent with mythology. I'm okay there.
Okay. Well, all right then.
I'm assuming he met Arthur because Hades killed Arthur quite quickly.
He did, with
And
quite the crunching of bone.
I'm not quite sure why. Because Hades says something like, I was also destined to rule a kingdom and I need your help with that. And then he very quickly kills Arthur, which in turn helps defeat Hades later in the episode.
This is true.
Yeah.
Watching it the first time, I assumed that he was supposed to do something in the underworld or something. But yes, this seems like something I don't know how to explain.
Well, this was also the action that put Emma on the trail that leads back to Hades.
Right.
So maybe when he was thinking, I need your help, he was thinking in the sense of, I need to set a path in motion that will bring
Hello? Can you guys hear me? Uh-oh. Hang on, John. I have a feeling. Oh, crap. I'm hoping Daniel has his phone on him so I can text him.
Okay, good. We're still here.
Oh, okay.
So my internet didn't die or anything?
Right. It was not your fault. That was my fault. I was
I just
closing
was about
something.
to text you. Like, what happened?
Yeah, I was closing something on my screen just after I had adjusted a setting. And as soon as I pressed down on the mouse, I thought, bad idea. But then I let go.
This was a bad choice.
I was suddenly trying to imagine how we were going to recreate the entire conversation we had, because other times you've said something like that. I was like, oh, we're not recording.
Yeah, but we're still live.
All
So
right.
everything's still working.
Everything is awesome.
What was I just saying?
I don't know.
Well, you were saying Hades' plan
yeah.
to kill Arthur leads to a path.
Let me just go back to that. I think one way that we could explain that is that Hades put into motion what would get Zelina on his side and what would bring all of the heroes to come attacking Hades so that he would get to put on this demonstration of power. I think that's what he was thinking of when he said, I need your help. Because if it wasn't for a dead Arthur on the bridge, Emma wouldn't be all like, Hades did this, and we have to go after him, we have to stop him. I mean, in a sense they would, but a dead body is kind of proof.
So you think that he wanted to incite a battle so that he could kill the heroes and it would look to Zelina like he had no choice.
Exactly.
Well, that makes sense.
That actually does. However, there were some negative feelings about his death. For example, Science versus Magic wrote that I feel cheated by Arthur's death. We spent all of season 5A running around with Arthur, hating Arthur, wanting Merida to punch Arthur right in his smug face. After all of that, there's no moment of satisfaction. His demise was lightning quick, came at another villain's hands, and he actually seemed content down in the underworld. A lot of setup and no payoff.
Well, I mean, yes. that last phrase, yeah, that's not so uncommon.
Yeah, and especially in this show.
That's kind of what I meant.
Like,
not to put too fine a point on it, but yeah.
Yeah. It's a show with a lot of setups and very little payoff.
I mean, I'll go ahead and say it now. Throughout this episode, I just found myself thinking I would wait a full calendar year and get only 11 episodes just to have Adam and Eddie and Jane Espenson and maybe one other seasoned veteran writer write every single episode with a full story arc plan with every beat laid out before they write any episodes. I don't know what their process is. I do know that there are so many writers. And it just, for some reason with this show, you really feel it.
I think that this particular episode, although, yeah, there were things that kind of had to be squeezed in a little bit, I do think this was one of the really good episodes of this season.
I actually really enjoyed it. It's one of the weird ones where I liked it better. I actually liked it a lot first run. And then, well, within reason. But then upon reviewing, found some bigger problems than I noticed in the beginning.
And this episode, by the way, was written by Jerome Schwartz, and he's done some other good episodes too.
He has, it's true. However, only in seasons 4 and 5.
I think he came over from Wonderland, actually.